Hello, everybody. I'm Jean Gianfagna. I'm your program chair, and it's my privilege today to introduce our speaker, Joe Pulizzi. Joe Pulizzi is the founder of the Content Marketing Institute, also known as CMI, which is the leading content marketing educational resource for enterprise brands. As I'm sure most of you know, CMI produces Content Marketing World, which is the largest content marketing event in the world, as well as leading Content Marketing Magazine, Chief Content Officer. You probably picked up a copy of the magazine on your way in the door. CMI also provides strategic consulting services to a number of major brands, including AT&T, Petco, LinkedIn, SAP, and many others. CMI is a very fast-growing company, a very successful company. They were named to the Inc. 500 in 2012 and 2013, and last year recognized by Inc. magazine as the fastest-growing business media company. CMI was also named in 2012 a Weatherhead Upstart winner. Joe Pulizzi is a content marketing evangelist. He began using the term content marketing long before any of us did, more than 13 years ago. Joe has just written a new book called Epic Content Marketing: How to Tell a Different Story, Break Through the Clutter, and Win More Customers by Marketing Less. Joe's new book shows business owners and marketers A to Z how to create a content marketing strategy that works to grow their business. Joe has also co-authored 2 other books, Get Content, Get Customers, and Managing Content Marketing. Joe is a terrific speaker. He's spoken at more than 200 locations in 10 different countries about the practice of content marketing. He's delivered keynote addresses to dozens of organizations, including DuPont, SAP, Hewlett-Packard, and Dell. He's received many, many business honors, including Custom Media Innovator of the Year by American Business Media. Joe also writes one of the most influential content marketing blogs in the world. He writes a column for Entrepreneur.com, and he's a LinkedIn influencer. He's a board member of OpenView Venture Partners in Boston and Ascend Integrated Media in Overland Park, Kansas. He's also a proud son of Northeast Ohio. Joe is from Sandusky. He went to St. Mary's High School, attended Bowling Green University and Penn State University before coming back to Cleveland. And he is a 2013 Positively Cleveland champion spokesman, so we're happy to have you here to talk about that as well. And as I'm sure you've noticed by looking at Joe, he's a big fan of the color orange. Joe is going to share with us 10 content development and distribution strategies to optimize our content marketing efforts in 2014. Please join me in giving a warm AAF Cleveland welcome to Joe Pulizzi.
All right. Thank you so much, Jean. That was fantastic. Jean got the long bio. I'm sorry for that. You're probably like, how long is this going to be? You don't mind if I come down, do you? I can't stand behind a podium. I get a little twitchy. I'm so excited to be here today. Last year, 2013, I spoke. We counted it up over 100 different locations, and only twice in Cleveland, and one was our own event. So I'm just excited that I have the opportunity to speak in front of you today. Just so I get an idea, how many of you were at Content Marketing World in September last year? Thank you very much. So next year, I want you all to be there. We're really excited to have our big event in Cleveland, and I'll talk about it later, probably incessantly throughout. We just named Kevin Spacey our closing keynote, so we're really excited to bring Kevin to Cleveland and continue to support the Cleveland area by bringing people that have never been. What was the stat, Kathy? 75% of the people we had 1,700 people attend our event last year. 75% had never been to Cleveland before. So we're hoping to do that again this year. All right, so I'm not going to go through what CMI is. You just heard that from Jean. Thank you so much. I'd just like to say we are a Cam's Corners headquarter company, and we're excited to be part of what's going on in Cleveland around marketing and innovation. If you are not subscribed to CCO Magazine, by the way, I think there's subscription cards. I know you all got a copy. Would love you to get it's all free, subscription, all that good stuff. I don't have a lot of time to talk, so I want to make sure I give you as much value for your time as well as the wonderful salad. I'm going to talk a little bit about history. I'm a big history buff. I think it's important to understand that content marketing is not new. I'm going to give a little bit of research that we've been doing. We've been doing research in content marketing for over 4 years. I'll cover a little bit of that. And then I've got, I think the title said 10, so I'm going to give you 10 things, resolutions to take away. The last slide of this will actually go through the 10, so no reason to take notes. And if you want this presentation, it'll be on SlideShare, so you don't have to take notes on any of this. I'd be happy to share with any of you today. I like to start out with this because most people don't realize. Anybody want to throw out, what is the #1 most important key to a great presentation? You can just throw it out. I'm sorry? Preparation? I prepared a little bit for this, so hopefully. You got a, Jason, you have the content? Hopefully the content's good. Anything else? Relevancy? Presentation style, I hope, matters a little bit. It's actually, most people don't think about this, but the number one most important thing about doing a presentation, I've done a lot of them, is setting low expectations. See, think about that. It's really, really critical. Setting low expectations. So if I set low expectations for you and then I can overachieve on that goal, you're going to go away more satisfied. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. I want you to leave with one thing. I'm going to give you 10, maybe a few other ones. Some of these things that I'm going to talk about are not going to be relevant for you at all. By the way, how many agency friends do we have here? Can I see a raise of hands? Agency folks? We have client side here? Clients? Okay. Media companies? Publishers? All right. Very good. Okay. Good mixture. I want you to leave with one thing and take one thing away. Some of these things are not going to work for you, but hopefully some will. I want you to leave with one thing that you can make actionable. Let's not say today. Let's say tomorrow, or maybe next week, that you can move forward with content marketing. I said content marketing is not new. A lot of people think that it sort of just came upon the scene in 2007 or 2009, depending on how you look at it. It's actually a very old discipline. And I like to show this one. I don't know if you're familiar with this. This is the Furrow magazine. This is from our friends at John Deere. They started developing this magazine back in 1895. It's still going on today. 1897 is the one that you see on the left, and the new one for this is 2013 version. Still going today, monthly publication. And what I love about this example, it is the largest circulated media property in the farming area. It's not done by a media company. It's done by a brand, done by a non-media company, done by a client side. 40 countries, 14 different languages. So as we talk today about content marketing, what I want you to think about, whether you're offering it for your clients or for yourself, your goal has to be that you want to be the leading informational provider for your industry. Because what we see in content marketing, and I'll show you some stats in a little bit, most everybody's story sounds exactly the same in certain industries. When we do content audits, let's say there's 7 competitors in the industry, we'll print out their blog posts, we'll print out their content, we'll put them next to each other. For the most part, you can never tell the difference between how those stories are told. And if you're not going to stand out, you're not going to break through the clutter, you're not going to get any attention, you're not going to hit any of your goals, and somebody's going to say in your company, well, why are you doing this content marketing thing? It's not working. So John Deere's been able to do that, and one of those keys is consistency, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Anybody know how Jell-O got their start? Anybody know the story of Jell-O? Anybody like Jell-O? I like orange Jell-O myself, forced to. Most people don't realize this. Jell-O actually, I mean, we have 100 types of Greek yogurt today. Back then, there was just Jell-O. How do you sell Jell-O? Went through a couple ownership changes, and in 1904, they started going door to door in different locations, and they gave away free recipe books. And when they got those free recipe books that had a little bit of insertion of Jell-O product, then people said, oh, I want to make this recipe. Here's what the original recipe book looked like. I don't know about the stuffed tomato salad with the Jell-O, but somebody wanted to make it. They went to the store and bought Jell-O, and within 12 months after they started delivering this free content to people, they became $1 million brand, and now they're a multi-billion-dollar brand. So I like to show this because I want you to understand that brands have been telling stories for a long time, right? We tell them in our advertising, we tell them in our PR, we tell them in our marketing. We've been doing this for a long time, so don't think that this is new, and the tenets of great storytelling are what we've been doing for a long, long time. We just have different channels, and it's a little bit harder to cut through that clutter today. So here's an example of a definition that we sort of espouse to when we think about content marketing. This is owned media. We got paid, earned, owned. We're talking about the owned media channel here. Owning, not renting somebody else's channel like we would do with advertising. We're trying to attract and retain customers through the creation and curation of valuable, compelling, relevant, and the most important thing is consistency. So you might say, Joe, why do most content marketing programs fail? I would tell you without a doubt it's because they stop. We work with a ton of brands, mostly larger brands, and for the most part, they call them content marketing campaigns. So all you agencies that are out there that are offering content marketing services, I would implore you not to say content marketing campaign. If you're really looking at a true content marketing program, campaign means that there's a stop date at some point. You start a content marketing program, you go on forever. Like Tom at the plane dealer, you start the plane, you've been publishing that a long time. You've been changing it, you've been iterating it, you've been taking feedback in, you always make sure, is it right with our strategy? But we're not stopping. So I want you to kind of get rid of that campaign mentality. And then what's the difference between content and content marketing? Content is all that stuff we're creating for our customers or we're doing as part of our client strategies that aren't changing anybody's behavior. Of course, we want to be nice to our customers, we want to give them really good stuff, we want to be helpful, we want to be useful, but if it's not enhancing or changing a behavior, it's not content marketing. This is marketing, folks. We got to sell at the end of the day. So we got to make sure we're driving sales, we're saving costs, or we're making happier customers. That's the goal of what we're doing with content marketing. All right? Keep looking over here at the Twitter stream. It's like, no, it's over here. All right, I'm going to give you some homework. I could spend a whole presentation on this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of homework on what the most famous content marketing strategy is. And I know before you think it's not porn, I know a lot of you guys were thinking porn right away. It's not porn. And I can't show any pictures on that anyways. Content 2020 from Coca-Cola. How many people have seen Content 2020 from Coca-Cola? A couple people? Okay, very good. I'm sure everybody who's in the content marketing world saw it because Jonathan Mildenhall from Coca-Cola did a presentation on it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but if you are in any kind of marketing or publishing, you've got to watch this. It's 17 minutes. There's 2 videos, 7 minutes and 10 minutes. And basically, Coca-Cola lays out their ongoing marketing strategy, and they're going to say, hey, we were the greatest and maybe still are the greatest creative brand out there. We've done some amazing things. But we know in the future, if we're going to be successful, and their BHAG is actually to double the amount of Coca-Cola's servings by the year 2020. That's why it's called Content 2020. By the way, the majority of the world has not tried Coca-Cola before. Do you believe that? I couldn't believe that. So they want to double the amount of servings. How are they going to? He's going to say, we've got to tell better stories. We've got to change from creative excellence to content excellence. They call it liquid storytelling, which I think is kind of cute. So for whatever you think about Coca-Cola and the stories behind them, this is what their goal is. And they're spending millions of dollars on this now, which I would imagine in the next few years will become billions of dollars that they will spend. So this is where we're heading. So you think it's there's so much clutter and information out there now, just wait for a couple of years, it's really going to get fun. Here's their website. You go to Coca-Cola.com, this is what you're looking at. What does this look like to you? Looks like a media site to me, doesn't it? They are a publisher. Same as Red Bull. I always say Red Bull is a media company that just happens to sell energy drinks. So you look at Red Bull. By the way, Red Bull, and I'm not talking about Red Bull, but I'm fascinated by their model. They have Red Bull Media House. It's an internal publishing company inside of Red Bull. And they actually have a profit center where they distribute their videos and their pictures to traditional media company who buy their stock. They buy their photos and their videos so that they can present. So they actually have a profit center inside selling content. I think it's amazing. Coca-Cola is trying to do the same thing. So here's your homework assignment to go check that out. Just Google Content 2020, and it won't be time that's worthless. Okay, I want to show you a little bit of research. How many of you, according to the definition, are doing any kind of content marketing for your organization? Can I see a raise of hands? How many of you are doing content marketing right now? So raise your hands. Okay, the majority of you are, looks like 80% or so. According to the stats we have, this is B2B, but the same with B2C. It's about 9 in 10. 9 in 10 brands of all sizes are doing